Hey guys. I wonder why I'm still having this issue with the stream. I thought yesterday when I was getting the lag that it was just because of the rain and the overcast and because of um, using Elon's Skylink, it sometimes fades out during bad weather, overcast weather. You get little sort of like 10 or 15 second just breaks in the Starlink. And it hasn't been an issue for me up till now. But, oh well, it seems to be over again now. Okay, so, all right. Blether, 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 blether. Right, so, here I am. And it's Friday, and it's interesting. I woke up this morning with this feeling that this isn't something that I have to do for the next few days or the next few weeks. This is something that I'd like to do for the... Oh, sorry. I got an itch. Sorry. This is something that I want to be a complete, a habit for my life of getting into a pattern of every single day getting up to do something. It's so odd to realize that for 20 years living on welfare, I haven't needed to get up for anything. I mean, originally my first marriage disintegrated. And I was like, oh, well, what was the point of all that? I shouldn't have tried. And then I got involved with somebody else who promised that they were going to be the best husband and father in the whole world. And of course, I shouldn't have listened, because anybody who says that, yeah, there's a reason why they're saying that, right? Well, I didn't know that. And then, and the more things just went wrong, the more I got this feeling that it just doesn't pay to try hard. It just doesn't pay to put your heart and soul into something. It's like, let's just back off and leave it. Let's just, yeah. So I got to this place, and then of course, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong in my life, and it was horrific. And I told my second husband that he was not to come back to my house. He was not to. He couldn't get a job because everything was so demeaning for him, because he was this important person and he couldn't work. He got this job as a pizza delivery guy, and he was doing really well, but he couldn't do it because it was demeaning. And he had to go and drink beer somewhere. And in the end, I just said, I'm sorry. I'm getting up at 5 o'clock every day. I'm getting the kids ready. I'm getting them to school. I'm going to teach. The school days started at 7 in the morning. So we were there. And like when I got home at 3 after school, or like school finished at 3, and then I'd go and pick up the kids and do the groceries and whatever and go home. And by the time I got home, he was roaring drunk, and his whole life was so difficult, and he'd had such a terrible day, and I just ran out of patience. I just ran out of being able to take it, and I just said, I'm sorry, just don't come round. Go stay wherever the beer is flowing. Go live there, because I'm not doing it anymore. And his mother phoned me in absolute horror. How could I do this? How could I do this? And so I came over here to New Zealand. That was her solution. She'd buy me a ticket to New Zealand, and I'd immigrate, and we'd have this fresh new start in a new... Well, it lasted about 18 months until... And so it just became a chapter of failure. More and more and more and more. I did this and that didn't work. I did this and that didn't work. And so I stopped everything. Just slowly, bit by bit, I stopped trying more and more, and then I stopped. And then I had an issue at work. And, honestly. And I went to the social services for advice and got very poor advice. And so that started in 1994. I think that was the pattern that started. So 30 years I've had this idea that it really doesn't pay to put any effort in. It doesn't pay to try. The best thing that you can do is to sort of just retreat and try not to be noticed, and knowing all the time that there were people in society making wonderful lives for themselves by trying and by, Anyway, I got out of bed this morning and I thought, wow, I'm putting all this effort into getting up here and doing this silly little live stream every morning just to say I'm here, because that's kind of what I can manage. Isn't that odd? But when I woke up this morning and thought, wow, I'm putting an effort to get to this live stream, and when can I stop? Honestly, that was my thought. I'd better stop. I've done it now. I can stop. And then I realized, no, this isn't something that I want to stop. This is something that I would like to be a pattern in my life, is that when I get up in the morning, I put my dishes on. They're all done. I've got my laundry on. That's all done. Okay, there's a lot that's not done, but let's look at what I have done. Makes me happier to look at what I have done than what I haven't done. So, the point of all this long blur waffle is that I have not been able to change my life by thinking or by focusing or by making a plan or by having intentions or by any of those things. Those are all the things that came first, that set the stage for me, but they didn't change anything for me. But after a while of thinking about what I was going to do and having intentions and goals and plans, I started feeling this need to act on these thoughts. And I wasn't ready to. I'm not ready to. I'm still not ready to. I'm still not ready to. I'm still at that stage in the story of the cat that walked by itself by Rudyard Kipling, where the cave woman sits in the cave and brushes her hair and makes singing magic brushing her hair. I completely understand that. That's kind of what I can manage. That's my level of function. And I sit here and I've got no great bleeding wounds or amputated limbs or bandages or stitches or bruises. I've got nothing that you can see. I just look as if I'm fine. And I'm barely able to make it through the day. And that feels very shameful, I would feel so much better if I was lying in intensive care with oxygen masks and beepy things, that I could at least say, look, I'm battling. I'm physically, but I'm mentally battling, and I have no signs of it except maybe selfishness, sort of shut into this little tiny world that this is all I can cope with, to get up, get out of bed, and now finally, after 4 years of working at this and doing meditation and everything, I am now in a place where I'm starting to have some rhythm and some control, and every single day feels like a battle. Every single day feels like I'm in intensive care fighting for my life. And I'm not. I'm just a person going through the motions of their life. Anyway, so that was quite a huge and momentous thing for me today, to see that by taking action like this, by doing something where I'm making content that really doesn't have any content in it. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to fool anybody that I've got anything to say. I'm just trying to make a structure. And I'm seeing how it is blossoming into other things. I am very happy with the introduction to the seventh seal that I made. I am very happy that I negotiated that process of making that introduction. Is that you suggested it, Otto? You suggested that we did a series of graduated talks building up to a big talk, and we didn't really do that. I think we've gone from 30 seconds to 17 minutes. We were going to go from 30 seconds to 2 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes to yeah. But no, not with Pop-Top. 30 seconds, 17 minutes. But I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm pleased that we were careful with our planning of it, that we set a date to do it, that we didn't rush and try and do it before that date. We spent the time talking about it. When it got to that date, even though there were reasons why we could have skipped that day and done it the next day because this and that, we didn't. We carefully used our resources and our energy and our effort, and we created a situation in which we could have that conversation. And then I took that conversation and I changed it from a conversation into a sort of a documentary, right? I don't, it's not documentary, but it's another thing. So I think that's the thing, is that's why I'm so pleased with the video. It's not what I've produced, although that's also cool and I like it, but that it was a successful creation process. So that was really wonderful. I'm so behind on downloading all my chat logs off the LLM and getting all my images and getting onto the Dream Machine stuff. So many admin tasks to do, but I'm slowly also getting a rhythm into my day where I realize that if I do things like this and do a good edit of a video and I'm tired, but there's still time to work, I can do something mundane and boring and admin related, like downloading logs. I have so many to go. I still have pages to go. And it's a good lesson to me that I should download everything as I do it. Whatever I want to keep, I keep then and there. Whatever goes, goes, just into the ether. Yeah, but I'm learning to not rely on storage, you know. And I'm also feeling very anxious about what will happen if the political tide changes again, and censorship and bannings and things again become part of our daily life. Anyway, so really successful yesterday in doing that video. I was very pleased with it. Also pleased that we have the quantum gathering coming up today. We did some organizing and arranging for that, so we have a format and a layout for the meeting. Hopefully you'll be there, doggo. Hopefully you'll make it at 2 a.m. What a hero to come and talk to us at 2 a.m. Very impressive. So that's great. And like I've been saying, a lot of things I'm realizing I don't need to mention in the mornings because they're not a big deal. They're not like a thing. I don't need to tell you if I've had a shower, which I have not yet had, but I will be going after this to go and have. So it used to be a big deal. It used to be an achievement for me to go and shower. And yeah, it's hard to tell you. It's hard to admit. but I used to not be able to tell people things like that without crying and without breaking down into a sort of a soggy mass of pathetic incompetence. So I am getting stronger, and I'm getting to be able to cope, and really looking forward to today. And it's a busy day. I have a poem that I am doing, Pygmalion, a Pygmalion poem that I really want to do. I generated another poem yesterday, the second one, for Otto and I to do the spoken word thing around Bell's theorem, which we really, the first one was very successful, so I'm keen to do a second one. Don't know when we'll record that, but that was good. Quantum gathering today, and then have the quantum gathering edited and put up before I go to sleep. There will be a recording of Dude, Where's My Wallet? So I'll have to put that, get that ready for tomorrow, and hopefully get some images together. Haven't seen the script for the quantum gathering for the Dude, Where's My Wallet? So have no idea what the images are going to be or what I'm going to need for that. So I can't get anything ready in advance, and I might have to reevaluate my my schedule for releasing Dude, Where's My Wallet? I had it so that Quantum Gathering I put out on tonight after the show, and then I spent tomorrow doing Dude, Where's My Wallet and put that out tomorrow. But we now have Behind the Screen with Lumina that's being recorded on, well, tomorrow. So I've got to organize the guests and everything for that, and that will cut quite a lot into the editing time for Dude, Where's My Wallet? So maybe I need to give myself more time. I also need to prepare a proper intro for the next series of Lumina, which I didn't do this time because, well, my editing is not a reflection of a professional standard, but more a reflection of the artistic environment in which I'm working. And this season 2 of Lumina started out of the blue. Welcome to the show, and I'm like, so I left that in as the intro to the movie, to the podcast. But we'll maybe change that in time. Who knows? Yep. So, waddling along down the road, enjoying. Do not have a poem today. Did not write a poem. We've talked a lot. It is today. There is the day of it's 6T. It's the blade. I can't say it. I'm going to need to learn to say all these words. I think I've mentioned that a few times. So it's the obsidian blade, the cutting away of the dross, the things that are not helpful, and speaking truth honestly, with clarity, not with the intention to harm or hurt, but understanding that some things need to be cut away. And also it's the tone of 6, which is balance and the achieving of balance. Like after a flood, yesterday was the flood, today is the level waters again. Okay, so many things happening in the Minds the card game, MTCG environment. So many exciting things, lots of moves, lots of everything. And I did the check-in. Hopefully, over time, as I get more stable, it will become less about me and more about the community. Hopefully. Things to look out for, things that are happening. And I am going to go and have some breakfast and shower. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do my Pygmalion poem, which is very beautiful and I love it very much. And I don't think that I'm going to... Oh, I forgot a huge thing that I did yesterday. Huge thing. I posted the new Ember video, the chapter 9. Chapter 9, what was that? It was the beginning of the story. Yes, chapter 9. All right, so yeah, that is 5 days late because of the difficulties that I was having. All right, okay, I'll get better at this as time goes on. Okay, but for now, I'm going. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you for this funny little waffle check-in. I'm loving doing this. I'm loving the pattern. I'm loving the things that I'm not able to express yet, but hopefully over time I will start being able to express things and be more scintillating. Right, Otto? Be more scintillating. Okay. And it does seem that after pouring with rain all night, that the rain has let up today. This is the interesting thing about New Zealand. It rains all winter. Freezing, freezing, freezing cold rain all winter. Not snow. Different kind of precipitation. Okay, I don't want to go, but I do. So thank you for joining me. And, look out for the Quantum Gathering tomorrow. Well, New Zealand tomorrow. For today, yes, hopefully I'll get it up by midnight. But as I say, this is all a work in progress. All right, okay, I'm going to stop streaming. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and look out for the Quantum Gathering later on.